So, nung last meeting, we have started a discussion all about the steering system. So, in that part, we have introduced to you the characteristics of a steering system. Pero more on we focus on electronic system. Ano? More on kumbaga mga power steering and then yung mga electronically controlled or yung mga EPS na tinatawag. So for today, we will be having a discussions all about manual steering system. Okay? So what is your idea pag sinabi natin manual steering system? Without reading. Yan si Ivan. Sige, Mr. Lilo.
Sir, yung mahirap kumbaga parang hindi ginagamitan ng mga liquid ganyan ka, sir.
Yes.
Yun lang, ho.
Okay, matigas ang steering. Okay. Can I call Mendoza, John Kenwin? Mendoza?
Sir,
What is your idea about manual steering system?
ano po sir?
What is your idea about manual steering system?
Sir, yung mga parang ginagamit sa mga steering wheel sa mga truck or sa jeep.
Okay.
Lang, sir.
Okay, tama. That's a very good observation. So, tama yung sinabi ni Lilo at saka ni Mr. John Kenwin. So, when we say manual steering system, from the presentations on your screen, so manual steering is considered to be entirely adequate for smaller vehicles or sometimes dati pag sinabi nating manual steering system yun yung mga old model, yung mga conventional type, mga sinauna pero kasi ngayon ang uso na yung mga electronically controlled na, may mga EPS na tayo so it is tight, fast, and accurate in maintaining steering control. So there are several characteristics of or varieties of manual steering configuration. As you can see in the below discussions, meron tayong mga worm and sector and etc. So however, larger and heavier engines, greater front overhang on larger vehicles, and a trend toward wide tread tires have increased the steering effort required. So when we say manual steering system, so syempre yung effort natin toward controlling our vehicles in turning left and right is heavier or ibig sabihin nagre-require siya ng additional effort to the driver. Kumbaga sabi nga ng iba matigas, hindi malambot ibaling. Yun ang kinaibahan pag manual. Kaya nga manual, And then steering mechanisms with higher gear ratios were tried. Okay, so syempre bago mo ma-turn, so mas mataas yung gear ratio na i-required. Or meaning, kung halimbawa sa EPS, kaunting turn mo lang ay nakakapagpaliko ka na dito, kailangan talaga todo effort ka para mapaliko mo yung para kaya medyo mahirap pagka manual ang steering system. So, but dependable power steering systems were found to be answered. So, there are several types of manual steering. So, meron tayong worm and sector type, meron tayong worm and roller, cam and lever, worm and nut, and the rack and pinion. Okay? So, for us to be truly understand the principle of manual steering system, I will be sharing a short video clips on manual steering system operations and fundamentals. Yes, someone is chat may yes po, someone wala. Yes, Andaya, late ka.
Opo, sir. Sir.
Okay.
Electrically assisted power steering is one of the latest technological advances in automotive design. Manufacturers are replacing the proven hydraulic pump assist system with a computer-controlled electric motor. This technology is the basis for a fully autonomous vehicle. Before we explore the current steer-by-wire technology used on modern vehicles, let's step back and look at the systems that brought us here. Hi, I'm Clint. Welcome to Automate. All steering systems must provide the driver with a fail-safe means to easily change the direction of the vehicle while maintaining a sense of feedback from the road surface. The steering linkage connecting the steering box and wheels usually conforms to a variation of Ackermann steering geometry. This is required to avoid tyre slip when turning a corner. This geometric arrangement of linkages in the vehicle steering has been designed to solve the problem of wheels on the inside and outside of a turn needing to follow different radii. The solution to this is for all wheels to have their axles arranged as radii of circles with a common centre point. Because the rear wheels are fixed, this centre point must be on a line extended from the rear axle. Intersecting the axis of the front wheels on this line requires that the inside front wheel is turned through a greater angle than the outside wheel. To watch the full video or any of our other automotive training modules, just visit our website and find out how you can become
control to master is that of steering. When you learn to drive, the most difficult control to master is that of steering. Do you know there are some amazing physics and mechanisms beneath the steering wheel which keeps the vehicle on the right track without any skidding of the wheels? This video will demonstrate why we need such mechanisms for steering and how they work. We will also understand the workings of power steering mechanisms. We thank Brilliant.org for supporting this video. The amazing thing about an automobile is that if you just tilt the front wheels as shown, the whole vehicle will make a turn. However, why doesn't the vehicle carry on moving in a straight line even after the wheels have tilted? To get the answer to this question, we have to understand the physics behind the most significant invention of mankind, the physics of wheels. In a wheel, which is rolling perfectly, the velocity of the wheel at the contact point should always be 0. This will make sure that there won't be any slippage between the stationary road and the wheel at the contact point. But how can a moving wheel have 0 velocity at a point on its surface? This condition is possible because the wheel has 2 kinds of motion. The wheel moves along in the direction of the car, and it also rotates along its axis. When we sum these 2 components at the bottom of the wheel, you can see they are in opposite directions, and they cancel each other out. Just keep this simple principle of a rolling wheel in mind, and you will be able to perfectly understand the steering mechanism. Assume that even after the wheel turns, that the car carries on moving straight. Let's again check the rotational and translational velocities at the contact point of the wheel. You can see that the rotational velocity is inclined, but the translational velocity is straight. Due to this, the velocities will not cancel each other out, and this will lead to skidding. The only way to achieve the 0 velocity condition is to make sure the translational velocity is also inclined. This is possible only when the whole car turns with respect to a particular center point. In this snapshot, this fact is shown perfectly. Here, all 4 wheels meet the perfect conditions of rolling. One major thing to be noted here is that, for such a perfect turn, the perpendicular lines from the front wheels should meet the rear wheel axis at a common point. This condition is the principle of steering. If you observe carefully, you will note that the angles turned by the left and right wheels are not the same. This means that for perfect steering, the left and right wheels should turn at different angles. The steering mechanism is used to carry out this purpose. The most commonly used steering mechanism in modern vehicles is the rack and pinion type. Let's see how this mechanism manages to steer the vehicle. A rack is at the center of this mechanism. This rack is constrained so that it can only move in a straight line. The pinion, which comes from the steering, can make this rack move. A part called a steering arm is attached to both of the wheels. This part is constrained so it only has a rotational motion along the axis shown. The steering arm is connected to the car frame via a roller bearing. This makes sure that it can only turn. A tie rod connects the steering arm to the rack. The tie rod can have both translational and rotational motion. Now, just observe what happens to the wheels when the rack moves. You can see that the left and right wheels are turning at different angles. If you track the meeting point of the left and right wheels, you can see the meeting point always lies on the rear wheel line. Thus, the rack and pinion mechanism perfectly satisfies the conditions needed for steering. Due to this, the vehicle makes a turn without slipping. The steering we have discussed so far was the manual type. Nowadays, electric motor-assisted power steering is widely used on most cars. Electric power steering makes the steering action effortless and more accurate. A column-assisted power steering unit is shown here. Here, a brushless DC motor drives the steering column and the pinion. The motor is capable of rotating in both clockwise and anti-clockwise directions. An electronic control unit decides the amount of power the motor should transfer to the column. The ECU takes the following inputs, such as the torque the driver has applied to the steering wheel, the steering angle, the steering wheel's speed, and the vehicle's speed, and then decides the appropriate torque to be supplied. A Hall effect-based sensor and torsion bar arrangement is used to measure the driver's torque input. Due to the motor's power assistance, the steering wheel rotation becomes effortless for the driver. Do you think this is a perfect mechanism? Wait for a moment and think about what happens to this steering in the case of a motor failing. You might be aware of the fact that a worm screw can turn a worm gear, but a worm gear cannot turn a worm screw. This means that if the motor fails, any manual rotation by the driver will be blocked by this constraint of the worm drive. In short, the steering becomes jammed. To overcome this issue, the rotation from the steering wheel is never directly connected to the worm gear. Instead, it passes through a planetary gear set. Here, the driver's rotation is given to the sun gear. The output is drawn from the carrier, and the worm gear also becomes ring gear of the planetary gear set. During normal operation, power from the ring gear will be easily transferred to the carrier. In case of motor failure, the ring gear cannot move. However, you can see the driver's manual rotation of the sun gear will be transferred to the carrier and finally to the pinion gear. Would you like to learn in detail about more fascinating mechanisms, similar to steering, using interactive bite-sized learning? Then Brilliant.org is the right place.
Okay, so based on the presentations, so can I call Magbuhat Kian Paula? Magbuhat Kian.
Sir,
Okay, what did you watch? Can you describe the details of what you have watched?
ano po, sir? Okay.
Dalawa yun.
Ano eh?
Hindi ka nakinig. Sabi ko sa inyo, talagang ako magtatawag. Isa-isa. Makuha, Lawrence. Makuha.
Sir,
Okay. Anong napanood mo?
yung ano po, yung steering mechanism,
Okay, describe.
daw po nagpo-control para po maganda daw po yung pagliko at mapunta ng ng point.
Okay. Next, we have J. Rob Delgado.
Sir,
Yes. Please describe.
Isa.
Hindi
Nakalimutan ko.
kayo nagno-notes. Hindi kayo nanonood. Anong ginagawa niyo?
Hindi ko matandaan, sir. Nakalimutan ko. Hindi ako nakapag...
Sa haba ng presentation, 10 minutes, wala kang naalala. Okay, alay, Charles Darwin.
Ano sir, yung sa power motor sir,
Okay, ano sabi?
may ECU po. Ano po yung na nabe-base daw nababase daw po yung bilis ng takbo ng driver sa may torque point sir.
Okay.
Mas yun po ang kadalasang gamit ko ngayon at mas madali na daw po siyang iliko kanan man o kaliwa lang po.
Okay. Can I call Aliswag Mark Daniel? Can you explain the principles of wheels? Principle of wheels.
Ano po sir?
Principles of wheels. Or physics of wheels. Sorry.
Wheels po.
Physics of
Ano
wheels.
po sir, ano daw po, pagka daw po liliko, kailangan daw po ang angle ng mga gulong ay magkatama po para po yung pagliko po ay hindi yung may stuck po yung likod sa na hindi gumagalaw para po nasunod po yun sa sa direksyon ng pagliko po.
Okay. Sige, thank you. Next, we have Amiel Cadavida. So, ano daw yung sinasabi about rotational and translational velocity in relation to physics of wheels? Rotational and translational velocity. Ano daw yun?
Yun po sir ang
Ano?
rotational at saka ano po,
Translational velocity. Physics of wheels din yun. Okay. Another. Di malibot Yosh Lance. Di malibot.
Sir,
Okay. Can you describe rotational and translational velocity? Kahit Tagalog.
rotational po.
Rotational and translational velocity. Yung parts ng physics of wheels. Sige, David daw na apila. Sige, Mr. Amiel. Sige, Amiel, permission to speak.
sir, yung daw yung sa understeer tsaka po oversteer ng gulong.
Yes. When turning.
Pa.
Sige, ito lang yung paliwanag mo.
Dahil po, yun po ay bumabase din po sa anggulo ng bawat gulong. Meron po kasing pagka tinurn-in mo, yung isa po ay nakatow out, yung isa po ay nakatow in. Yun po ay nagkakos ng unstable handling ng sasakyan pagka po cornering.
Okay. Tama. Very good observation. Yes, Andaya, you are raising your hands.
Sir, okay na, nasagot na.
Ayun, sagot na. Okay, next we have the principles of steering. Dun sa presentation, it presented and explained the two types of steering mechanism. We have the manual and we have the electronic steering. So, can I call Luis Trolexi?
Sir,
Can you explain?
ano ulit yung tanong, sir?
Can you explain the manual steering system? Explained on the video.
Ay, sir, ang naintindihan ko lang po ay pag po manual ay wala pong motor.
Yes.
Hindi po ginagamitan ng and electric something, sir.
Okay, sige. Next, tinapay, Gerald. Tinapay. Sige, si Kian, nag-raise ng hands.
Sir, ang manual
Mamaya
po
ka na,
yung
Gerald.
sir, ang manual po yung rack and pinion.
Yes. Okay. Can you describe the rack and pinion mechanism?
Ano po, sir? Yung para pong bearing na may tie rod po.
Okay. Sige, next. Tinapay, Gerald.
Sir,
Yes. Manual. Steering. Yes, Mr. Di Malibot. Ayaw minute ni Gerald.
Sir, ito po yung ano, sir. Papapagana po ng gamit yung kit.
Okay, tama. Ano? Another? Sino pa yung nagre-raise ng hands? Yes, Pascual Dries.
Sir, ang manual steering po ay parang simplified version po ng steering mechanism po niya. Ang rack and pinion po, siya po yung kumukontrol ng driver's input po. Bago sa naghahawak naman po sa gulong is ay ang steering arm sabay yung input po napapapunta po sa sa tie rod po. Pupunta po sa gulong.
Okay. Thank you, Dries. So, tama si Dries. Tama rin yung observation niya. When we say manual steering system, one example is the rack and pinion mechanism. So, there is a rack and there is a pinion. The rack is the center of the operations. Yun yung parang pinaka-center link. And then yung pinion, yun naman yung naka-attach dun sa ating steering. So yun yung tubo na nakakonekta dun sa manubela. And then yung sinabi ni Dries, which is the steering arm, yun yung nandun sa malapit sa gulong. And then yung tie rod naman, yun yung nakakonekta dun sa ating rack. Wherein yung tie rod, yun yung pinakonsider din natin na nagpe-perform ng translational and rotational velocity. Kasi siya yung nagto-turn at saka siya yung may responsible, may direct contact in terms of turning. And also, when we say principles of steering, lagi siyang may tinatawag tayong center point. Yung center point, yun yung nagbabalance ng pag-turn ng sasakyan. So, ibig sabihin, even though the front wheels turn, so yung gulong sa likod still remains parallel dun sa turning. And then, when we say manual type, syempre, in the absence of a motor or electronically controlled operations yung steering. So, pagka walang motor, walang ECU, so manual steering siya. And then, pagka may power steering, may EPS, may motor, may ECU, so siya ay electronically controlled. Okay? So, next is, what if there is a motor failure? Kasi sabi natin kanina, when we say electronically controlled, merong motor. So, makokontrol pa ba ng driver yung manubela kung halimbawa nagkaroon tayo ng motor failure? Can I ask Jovan Kevin Ramento? Mr. Jovan Ramento. What if, sabi natin kasi kanina, meron tayong two types of steering mechanism. We have the manual and we have the electronically controlled. So, in electronically controlled, meron tayong natawag na motor. So, in the condition na nagkaroon tayo ng failure or motor failure, so makokontrol pa ba ng driver ang manubela? How? Paano makokontrol? What component ang meron? Tama bang tanong ko?
Wait, sir.
Okay. Hindi tayo makakapaghintay, magtatagal tayo. Sige, si Jude. Wala pa naman si Jude na ano ngayon, recitation. Sige, Mark Jude. Huwag mo masyadong galingan.
Sir, pwede minsan sir yung gawa nun sa ano. Na-experience lang sir, nung
Yes.
ganon. Pinatay ang susi.
Mm-mm. And then,
Yun sir, mga digay sir mga electronic para hindi daw po pumalag. Pero minsan po sir, digay mo merong mga naka-ABS.
mm-mm.
Ganun po. Yung minsan po sir mga nag-ABS na ganon. Yung parang nagkukusa na po ang
Okay.
motor.
Dun sa video presentation, na-discuss yun.
Hindi sir.
Na-discuss anong component ang meron. Yes, Enrico. Panganiban.
Sir, yung po kasi electric ano po.
Ah,
Meron po doon sa video po, meron po yung parang bilog eh. Tapos
Ah.
may maliliit po na parang maliliit pang bilog na nakalagay doon sa loob.
okay. Anong tawag doon?
Ayun nga sir, hindi ko alam.
Okay, tama naman yun. Yun yung tinatawag natin. Sige, nataas si Carlo Hernandez. Carlo.
Sir, gawa po ng planetary gear set.
Okay, very good. Planetary gear set. Okay? Because of the planetary gear set. Saan ang index card nito sa Carlo? Okay. Because of the planetary gear set. Sino makakapag-explain nung motor failure at kung paano nag-aano yung planetary gear set nagpa-function? Anyone? Sige, Jurgen.
Sir, yung pagka po yung hindi ka po may gear si
Mm-mm.
steering wheel.
Oo.
Tapos nakakonect siya sa motor. Once na
Mm-mm.
mag-failure po yung motor,
Mm-mm.
doon po gagana yung sa loob ng
Planetary gear set.
yan, opo. Siya po yung magpapaikot sa sa steering wheel para kahit sira ang motor
Mm-mm.
ay gagana pa rin ang steering wheel.
Okay, very good. So, tama So, ibig sabihin, if the motor fail, automatically mag-activate yung planetary gear set. And then, yung planetary gear set, madadirect control na ng driver. Okay? So, thank you very much for your understanding. So, nahuhuli talaga yung mga hindi nakikinig. Pagka ako nagro-roll call. So, we will now proceed with the discussions. So, introduction pa lang yun. So, meron tayong iba't ibang uri ng manual steering system. So, ang pinagkaibahan lang niya yung components. Yung una, yung tinatawag nating worm and sector. Pag worm and sector, ito yung nakalagay doon sa kanya. So, ito yung parts niya. Merong filler plug, steering gear shaft, tapered roller bearing, pitman arm shaft, sector, adjusting nut. Ito yung tinatawag nating worm and sector steering gear. Okay? So, when we say worm and sector, in the worm and sector steering gear, the pitman arm shaft carries the sector gear that meshes with the worm gear and the steering gear shaft. Ito yung component. So, kung kanina, ang ginagamit ay rack and pinion, doon naman ang component naman ay worm and sector. So, only a sector of a gear is used for approximately 70 degrees. Okay? So, yun lang kinaibahan yung components. Sunod, yung tinatawag nating worm and roller steering gear. Yan naman. Ito yung isa pa. Second. So, when we say worm and roller, it is quite similar to worm and sector, except a roller is supported by a ball or roller bearing. So, meron siyang roller bearing dito. And then, this bearing assists in reducing sliding friction. And then, next we have the cam and lever. Ito naman yung cam and lever. So, ang kanyang part, ito yung steering shaft, cam, housing, cross shaft, pitman arm, ball cap, studs, and lever. So, as you can see, nagkakaiba-iba lang siya dun sa main components. So, yung kanina, ang pinakita yung rack and pinion kasi merong rack from dun sa manubela and then merong pinion. Dito naman, cam and lever steering gear. So, ito yung components. Okay? So, the cam and lever, in which worm is known as a cam and the sector as the lever. So, the lever carries two studs that are mounted in bearings and engage the cam. And then, sunod, yung tinatawag nating worm and nut. Ito naman yung worm and nut. So, merong sector shaft adjusting screw, sector gear, ball nut, steering shaft, ball return guide, ball guide, and sector shaft. Okay? So in worm and nut, the worm and steering gear is made in several different combinations. A nut is meshed with the screws up and down in the worm gear. So the nut may operate the pitman arm directly through a lever or through a sector on the pitman arm shaft. So the recirculating ball is the most common type of worm and nut steering gear. In this steering gear, the nut, which is the form of sleeve block, is mounted on a continuous rows of balls on the worm gear to reduce friction. So grooves are cut into the ball nut to match the shape of the worm gear. So the ball nut is fitted with tubular ball guides to return the balls diagonally across the nut to recirculate as the nut moves up and down on the worm gear. So with this design, the nut is moved on the worm gear by rolling instead of sliding contact. So turning the worm gear moves and the nut and forces the sector and pitman arm shaft to turn. So ito yung ating main components in terms of worm and nut steering gear. So ang pinaibahan lang nila ay yung main components. Ano? Worm and sector, worm and roller. So ito naman, worm and nut steering gear. Okay po? So far, do you have questions? Questions po? Again, yung kinaiba lang niya yung components. Ano? Yung main components o yung mga main drives. Okay po. Walang tanong? Okay, next.
Wala, sir.
We have the rack and pinion. So, I think rack and pinion, hindi ko na naman kailangan pang pakapaliwanag. Napakita na yan kanina, ano? So, syempre, we have the rack and we have ito yung rack and then we have the pinion, ano? So, napaliwanag naman kanina, ano? Pero, let me read again. So, the rack and pinion steering has become increasingly popular on smaller passenger vehicle. So, siguro dun sa nabanggit na 4 na types ng manual steering system, ito yung most popular. Ano, rack and pinion. Am I right? Okay. So, the rack and pinion has become increasingly popular in smaller passenger vehicles. Sabi ko nga, ito yung pinaka most popular. When we say manual steering system, ang sunod na sasabihin, rack and pinion. So, it is simpler, more direct acting, and maybe straight mechanical or power assisted. So, the manual rack and pinion steering gear basically consists of steering gear shaft, as shown on the figure below, pinion gear, rack, truss spring, bearing, seals, and gear housing. In the rack and pinion steering system, the end of the steering gear shaft contains a pinion gear which measures with a long rack. Yun nga, yung pinakita doon sa animated video. Ano? So the rack is connected to the steering arms by the tie rod, which are adjustable for maintaining proper toe angle. Ano, yung tama yung sabi ni Mr. Kadabit at Giancarlo, ano na with the help of the tie rod, ano, yung turning is easier. Ano. So the truss spring preloads the rack and pinion gear teeth to prevent excessive gear backlash. So truss spring tension may be adjusted by using shims or an adjusting screw. So as the steering wheel is rotated, the pinion gear on the end of the steering shaft rotates. So the pinion gear moves the rack from one side to the other. Syempre, ano? So this action pushes or pulls on the tie rods, forcing the steering knuckles or wheels spindles to pivot on their ball joints. So this turns the wheels to one side or the other so the vehicle can be steered. Okay? So ito yung ating ano, components. Simple lang naman siya. Ano? Okay po. Questions sa rack and pinion? So sa manual, meron tayo rack and pinion, worm and nut steering gear, cam and lever steering gear. Then we have the worm and roller steering gear. And last, we have the worm and sector steering gear. Okay pa? Meron tayong 5 types sa manual. Okay? Worm and sector, worm and roller, cam and lever, worm and nut, tsaka rack and pinion. Okay pa? So, ang kinaibahan lang nila yung driving mechanism or driving components. Pero basically, manually operated. Okay pa? Questions? Mukhang hindi na naman nakikinig. Questions?
Wala pa, sir. Mamaya.
Wala pa, mamaya pa, mag-iisip pa. Okay. So after manual, ang sunod ay power steering. Okay po. Power steering. I'll be sharing a video presentation.
Presentation, we will look at how to overhaul typical car steering system. We will go through removal, disassembly, inspection, repair or replace the parts and finally installation after reassembling. Remove lower bolt of steering's lower shaft coupling. Remove cotter pins and tie rod castle nuts from both knuckles, then disconnect tie rod ends from knuckles. Remove steering gear case mount bolts and then remove steering gear case mount brackets along with rubber shock absorbing mounts. As the bolt connecting the steering lower shaft coupling and pinion is already removed, slightly lower the rack and pinion assembly and then remove the whole assembly by drawing it out sideways. Count the number of threads or mark and measure tie rod end lock nuts. Then loosen this lock nuts and remove tie rod ends. Next, remove the boot clamps and then remove the boots. Unbend the bent part of tie rod lock washers and remove tie rods from the steering rack. Also, remove the tie rod lock washers. Next thing to come out is rack damper screw followed by rack plunger spring and the rack plunger. Unscrew the pinion bearing plug, the remove gear case oil seal and O-ring. Then remove pinion along with its bearing that will be removed later. After that, pull out the pinion needle bearing from the gear case. Remove the rack from the gear case. Finally, remove the snap ring that holds the rack bushing to complete the disassembly. Inspect rack plunger spring for deterioration. If any kind of damage, rust or wear is found, or if the spring coils are not allowing the spring to compress smoothly and then regain its original shape, then it is better to replace the spring with new one. Inspect rack plunger for wear or damage. If found defective, replace. Inspect teeth surface of steering pinion for wear or damage. Inspect oil seal and O-ring for any sign of leakage and damage. It is much better to replace such cheap parts no matter if they found in good condition. Check rotation condition of bearing and inspect for wear. If found defective, replace. Inspect rack bushing for wear or damage. If found defective, replace. Inspect for deflection, teeth wear or teeth damage. Also rack surface to be inspected for wear or damage. Now, place the rack over V-blocks and set up the dial indicator as shown. Rotate the rack one complete turn and note the dial reading. If reading exceeds 0.35 mm, then rack is not straight and need to be replaced. The first thing to ensure is the boot over the ball joint should not be damaged because it protects the joint from environmental contamination such as dust and moisture, and it also acts as flexible lubrication housing filled with grease for ball joint. Next, check the threads for any kind of damage. Repair or replace the damaged part. Now, move the joint to ensure free rotation of the ball joint without any jamming. If too much effort is required for movement, then the whole joint is good candidate for replacement. Apply grease lightly to entire inner surface of bushing, then press fit bushing as far into rack housing. Afterwards, install the snap ring. Apply grease to entire teeth surface of steering rack and its periphery. Slide steering rack into steering gear case in the direction as shown. Apply grease to rollers of pinion needle bearing. Press fit pinion needle bearing into gear case. After press fitting, make sure that bearing rollers are installed properly. Apply grease to all around pinion teeth, bearing and gear case oil seal lip. Fill inside of pinion bearing plug with grease. Fit gear case o-ring and groove of pinion bearing plug. Install pinion assembly and tighten pinion bearing plug to specified torque. Apply grease lightly to sliding part of plunger against rack. Tightening rack damper screw to the tightest point, then turn it back by between 0 and 90 degrees until smooth rotation of pinion and smooth movement of rack is achieved. Tighten tie rod to specified torque. Then bend the lock washer as shown. Partially fill the inside of the boot with grease, then position boot properly over gear case and tie rod, and then make sure that clamps are tightened firmly. Ensure that boot is free from twist and bent. Position the tie rod and lock nut as per marking or measurement made during removal. Tighten the castle nut to specified torque. Be sure that steering wheel and brake discs are all straight ahead driving state. Then, tighten steering lower shaft bolts to specified torque.
Okay, so yun naman yung pagsa-service. Servicing of steering mechanism. Okay po. Can I ask Mr. Bobadilla Christian J to describe
Sir,
the video presentation?
yung ipapaliwanag po yung
Ano yung napanood mo?
yung pag-disassemble po ng nung power steering po. Yung ang una pong ginagawa ay yung pagtatanggal ng ng tie rod, yung pinakadulo po para dun po ang simulang pagkakalas, ganun.
Okay. Next, Abu Bakr.
Sir.
Eric. Pakipaliwanag kung ano yung napanood.
Ano po?
Paliwanag kung anong napanood.
Opo. Yung pag-assemble din po nung steering po. Saka po
Okay. Next, Kasaw Mael Tyrone.
Sir.
Okay, pakipaliwanag yung napanood. Yung last meeting, wala ka ha. Naka-join ka lang, tiyatawag kita, hindi ka umimik. Sige, Tyrone.
Sir, yung pong yung pong pag-disassemble ng steering system po, tapos po yung kung paano po hanapin yung mga sira po gayon, yung mga papalitan check po kung mga worn na po yung mga gear po.
Okay, thank you. Next, Mr. Andaya, John Daniel.
Oo, nakakawag din. Sir, yung kada baklas kabit natin ng component ng power steer, check natin kung may damage na or halimbawa kung nagpa-play pa yung ball joint ng sa light lang, gagalaw-galaw lang natin. Pag yung okay pa naman siya, halimbawa sir, gagalaw natin. Pag matigas na or lost thread na something, replace na siya. Replace lang ng replace. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Next, Yosh Di Malibot, you're raising your hands.
Sir, pag ano po, pag ibabalik na po kailangan pong lagyan ng mga grasa.
Yes, tama. Ano? Tama, very good observation. Okay, meron pa? Dadagdag?
Si Jude po.
Si Jude daw. Sige, Jude. Yes, Jude.
Sir, pag-check ng mga sira,
Mm-mm.
kagaya ng mga rack and pinion, sir.
Mm-mm.
Kakalog, sir, ng mga ball joint, kung nakakalog, sir. Tapos pag-check ng bushing and mga bearing, sir. Tapos pagbubuo, sir, pagagrasa ng mga bearing, paglalangis ng mga shafting. Tapos, sir, pag-check ng mga oil seal. At saka yung mga boot, sir, kung sira.
Okay.
Dagdag nakakasira po yun ng mga rack and pinion, sir.
Okay, si Mike Kelvin daw, Mendoza, may dadagdag. Yes, Mike Kelvin.
Sir, pag-check nung rack gayon, yung mahaba,
Mm-mm.
kung saktong-sakto pa yung ikot nung may nilalagay silang pang balance, sir. Dapat ay 0.01 yung
Okay.
para makita ayos pa yung ikot, sir.
Okay, tama. Good observation. So, yun. Yung mga yan, pwede nyo gawin thesis yung mga yan. Kasi wala pa tayong trainer ng ganyan. Yung mga pan-test ng rack and pinion. Wala pa tayong mga ganyang equipment. Ito mga to, nasabi ko na to dun sa mga previous class, yung mga third year ngayon. Unang tanong sa akin, yung pwede matapik sa research. Mga ganyan dapat ang ginagawa nyo. Yung mga pan-test ng balance ng alignment ng rack and pinion. So, activity rin siya, pwede siya. Si Lilo daw, sir, magdadagdag. Yes, Mr. Lilo. Nagtitripan ka na yung daya. Okay, wala na. Nahihiya lang daw, sir. Okay, so, proceed na tayo sa next part. Gawa ko to see So, yung ating next part is all about the power steering system. So, ito naman yung natawag nating electronically controlled. Is my presentation visible? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes,
power
sir.
steering system normally use an engine-driven pump. O yung ang ibang tawag motor. Yung kanina sa presentation motor. And hydraulic system to assist steering action. Kaya meron tayong mga iba ang tawag hydraulic type daw. So, pressure from the oil pump is used to operate a piston and cylinder assembly. So, when the control valve routes oil pressure into one end of the piston slide in its cylinder. Piston movement can be used to help move the steering system components and front wheels of the vehicles. So the components that are common to all power system, syempre rin yung tawag natin una, the power steering pump, the control valve, and the power steering hoses. So the power steering pump is the engine driven and supplies hydraulic fluid under pressure to the other components in the system as shown in figure 14-26. Yan. Ito yung ating power steering pump. So, there are four basic types of power steering. Meron tayong vane, merong roller, slipper, and gear types. Yan yung four basic types of power steering pumps. So, a belt running from the engine crankshaft pulley normally powers the pump. During pump operation, the drive belt turns the pump shaft and pump elements. So, oil is pulled into one side of the pump by vacuum, and then the oil is trapped and squeezed into a smaller area inside the pump. So, this action pressurizes the oil at the output as it flows to the rest of the system. So, a pressure relief flow valve is built into the pump to control maximum oil pressure. So, this action prevents system damage by limiting pressure developed throughout the different engine speeds. Ito nga yung ating power steering pump. And then, the control valve, ito yung ating mga components. Okay? Ito yung ating actuating cylinder. Ito yung tinatawag nating inline valve cylinder unit. Ito yung ating column type control valve, and then ito yung ating spool centered booster unit stationary, and ito yung ating forward chamber. The control valve, a rotary or spool type valve which is actuated by steering wheel, is designed to the hydraulic fluid under the pressure to the proper location in the steering valve as shown in 14-27. Ito ano. So the control valve may be mounted either in the steering mechanism or the steering linkage, and then depending on the system configuration is used. So ito yung ating iba't ibang uri, 3 major power systems. So ito yung isa, meron tayong fluid reservoir, and then ito yung ating hydraulic valve and piston and gearbox, the power steering gear, we have the pitman arm, pressure hose, and the steering linkage. Yung letter B naman, ito yung configuration niya. We have the steering gear, frame bracket, power cylinder, frame bracket, hydraulic, control valve, and then meron tayong pump and reservoir, relay. Yung pangatlo naman, ito yung C, fluid reservoir, return hose, power steering pump, and then pressure hose, and then meron tayong fluid control valve, and then meron tayong pressure cylinder or the steering assist unit or the SAU. Okay, ito yun. So power steering hoses are high pressure hydraulic rubber shoes that connect the power steering pump and the integral gearbox or power cylinder. So one line serve as a supply line and the other as a return line. So meron tayong supply at saka return line. Ano? So there are 3 major types of power system used on modern vehicle. Ito yun, integral piston as shown in 14-28. Ano? Integral piston. Yung pangalawa, yung external cylinder or linkage type. Ito yun. And then, yung pangatlo, yung rack and pinion. Ito. Kasi siya ay meron ng application ng motor. Yung kanina, rack and pinion na manual. Ito naman, may application na ng motor or pump. So, the integral and pinion steering is the most common. Integral rack and pinion. Okay? So, let's proceed with the integral piston. Okay, so before we proceed, syempre, I will be showing again video presentation.
Pag matibay ang ngipin ng anak ko, masigla ang kain. Masaya ang kain. Thanks to Colgate.
There was only one kind of steering. You want to move the car a different direction? You grab the steering wheel and put your shoulder into it. Power steering was either unheard of or very elite.
Steering a heavy vehicle by manual effort only emphasized the need for a steering assist.
We huffed and heaved and sweated behind the wheel until the first mainstream car with power steering hit showrooms. The 1951 Chrysler Imperial was something that they called Hydra-Guy. And then for 50 years, power steering didn't really change a lot. Hydraulic was hydraulic, like on this 67 Cougar. You basically have your steering rack that's very classic in just about every car of the era. But to help you move that, you've got this power ram right up here. This piece is nothing more than a hydraulic ram that pushes one way or the other to get your wheels to move which way you want. It is told how much and what direction by this control valve up here, and all this connects to your steering column. Where does it get all the pressure is what's interesting. If you look up in there, you see that pump. That's the power steering pump run by a belt off the front of the engine. That's one of the big problems with these systems. It's constantly putting drag on the engine, creating a bunch of pressure, even if you're not using it to steer. That's called a parasitic loss. That can sap MPG and power. But these days, power steering has changed dramatically. Welcome to the era of EPAS, electric power-assisted steering. Now, underneath this 2014 Jeep Cherokee, a decidedly modern vehicle, we find a very different steering system. Electric power steering is here. If you look up in this vicinity, you're going to see the electric motor which is sitting on the steering rack, those arms and linkages that move the wheels left and right. Another model is to take that motor and move it further up and put it on the actual steering column, kind of heading up toward the firewall. The effect is the same. The electric motor and its electronics sense your effort on the wheel and add their own in kind in, of course, the same direction. The efficiency, the compactness, the cleanliness, and the accuracy of this system versus hydraulic is the big idea. Note there are also hybrid systems that remain hydraulic but replace the belt-driven pump with an electric one. The bigger trend, however, is to go fully electric. Okay, so as you've picked up on, there are 4 major benefits to electric power steering. Let's run them down. First off is efficiency. ZF, which makes a lot of electric power steering systems, says they can save 90% of the energy that is parasitically wasted by hydraulic systems. Put another way, Chevy says their 2013 Malibu gets 2.5% better MPG solely because it has electric power steering. They ballpark that at 120 gallons of gas, or about $500 saved across 10 years of ownership. Next up is addressability. Because it's an electric component, it can be harnessed to the vehicle's control systems to automate things like automatic parking assistance, lane departure correction, all kinds of things that are nudging into the area of autonomous driving. It can also be used in the background for cornering improvement and cornering control. Now we have accuracy. Because it's driven largely by software, changing its behavior and keeping it accurate with a feedback loop that a computer can monitor is quite easy. That's not the case with hydraulic systems. If you want to change their behavior, you largely have to go engineer new physical components for them. And then there's compactness, a big deal with automotive packaging designers. Instead of having a pump and belts and valves and a power ram, you just have an electric motor and some wires going to and from it. That allows a lot of space to be freed up and for things to be kept very compact and very cool in the engine bay. So it's a win-win-win-win. Then why do so many driving purists kind of push back on electric power steering? Well, part of it is because it's not what we've always had. It's not hydraulic, and let's face it, we've all gotten used to hydraulic steering, and automakers have dialed it in quite nicely. And early electric power steering systems did have some numbness to them and some poor what's called on-center feel. That's been largely corrected in my experience. I have a very hard time telling a good electric system from a refined hydraulic system until I look under the hood. The future? When electric power steering like we've seen today becomes steer-by-wire electric power steering. That means the steering wheel basically becomes a game controller and has no mechanical connection to the front end at all. That's down the road a few years, and that's a separate Car Tech 101.
Yun. Okay. Nag-volunteer na agad si Mr. Andaya. Iba naman. O, Christian Lailo daw. Christian Lailo. Lailo?
Nakakalimutan kasi.
Wala na si Lailo. Nandito pa si Lailo. Naka-join na lang yata.
Tulog na yata, sir.
Lailo.
Naglolomi.
Hindi nyo kasi sir napalitaan.
Naglolomi.
Tulog, sir. Tulog.
Dati nyo napalitaan, sir. Kaya nangyari kay Layla?
Ano nangyari?
Tulog ata.
O, di ba kaya si Lailo? Wala eh. Sunod. Tristan Ivan Magadja. Tristan Ivan.
Nagalulo yata.
Wala din.
What is torque?
Lagi pag tiyatawag ko wala. Last meeting wala din. Sunod. Lanto Francis Miguel. Mr. Lanto. Wala din.
Magalulo rin yan, sir.
Wala din eh. Dalawang itlog na. Warren Malyada. Warren.
Sir.
Sige, paliwanag ko anong napanood.
Teka lang, sir. Sir.
Mm.
Yun, nung late ano daw sir, nung una sir, merong Hydra guide.
Mm-mm.
Tsaka yung sir na, yung tinatawag sir na ano, yung ngayon, yung IPAS.
Mm-mm.
Nakalimutan ko lang sir kung ano yun.
Okay, sige. Next, we have Flores Vincent Ezequiel.
Sir, ang benefits daw po ng ano ngayon, electric power steering po ay may efficiency po ng accuracy, mga gayon.
Next, Perez David Christopher. Perez. Pakipaliwanag ang napanood.
Ang benefits daw po ng electrical power steering po ay efficiency, accuracy, compactness po, addressability.
Okay. Thank you. Next, Mr. Hassan.
Sir, nung una may tinatawag yung power steering pump, yung may pump po na may nakaka-connect na belt.
Yes.
Tapos susunod yung electric na.
Okay, may IPAS na. So, meron ng electric motor. Okay po. So, if we can summarize, so, nung una daw ay, syempre, manually operated without application of the ECU. And then, as long as the, goes by, so, meron na kasing power steering noon pa. So, nung pumasok ang power steering, syempre, manually controlled pa rin siya. And then, nung nagkaroon na tayo ng mga hybrid vehicles, naging modern ang vehicles, pumasok na ngayon yung motor. Yung electric motor, siya yung naging additional features ng ating natawag na IPAS. Okay, electronically power assisted steering mechanism or steering system. So with the aid of electric motor, yung torque applied ng driver in turning increased or nag-multiply. So sabi nga kanina, yung mga bagong sasakyan din, meron tayong tinatawag na EPHS, yung electrically powered hydraulic steering. So wherein meron tayong efficiency, addressability, accuracy, and compactness. When we say efficiency, kagaya nga ng sabi ko kanina, kung yung halimbawa applied mo is ganun lang yung effort mo, so with the aid of the IPAS, mas madali. Mas madaling mag-turn, mas madaling kasi lumambot siya, nag-multiply. And then with the aid of the motor, turning is more convenient and easier. Addressability, ibig sabihin ng addressability in terms of cornering or turning the vehicle, more easier. More convenience and easier to control by the driver. In terms of accuracy, of course, konting likot mo lang sa manobela, you can easily address, you can easily control the vehicle whatever directions you want. Not unlike nung una na medyo mahirap, medyo matigas kasi wala pang mga motor. And then in terms of compactness, in terms of components, naging compact. Ibig sabihin ng compact, naging simplified yung parts. Kung dati meron pang mga reservoir, may mga hydraulic, mas marami, mas mahaba yung line, mas mahaba mas maraming components, so na-simplified yung components. Ibig sabihin, naging compact siya. Compact, ibig sabihin ay mas intact, mas kakonti. Okay pa. So far, do you have questions? Questions?
Wala po, sir.
Wala po, sir. Wala, sir.
Yes, Amiel. Si Amiel may question.
Sir, doon na sa sinasabi niyang mas maganda pong iliko ang electric power steering. Mas po yung
mas naging madali ngayon kasi
mas naging madali pero yung stability po niya hindi niya po mayahan tulad sa hydraulic o kaya po dun sa may mga power steering pump. Kasi para sa akin po, dahil danas ko na din po, pagka po kasi electric power steering, sobrang lambot po para sa akin. Pagka po cornering, sloppy. Lalo po pagka minsan high speed ng kaunti yung takbo. Pagka po cornering, parang masyado pong sloppy.
Okay.
Lalo po sa mga daan dito sa atin, sa Pilipinas. Napaka-sloppy po. Hindi po kagaya ng mga hydraulic, yung mga nagraran pa po ng power steering pump. Mas may control kasi mas merong stiffness sa steering input ng driver.
Siguro, okay, good observation din yung Amiel, pero siguro ay depende na rin sa driver yung appreciation kung ano yung more convenient para sa
meron din man pong electric power steering na modes. Meron pong ganun na mga sasakyan. Ayos lang din po.
Tama naman yun. So, depende siguro sa appreciation ng driver kung saan siya more convenient dun sa conventional or dun sa electronically controlled. Tama ba, Jude?
Yes, sir.
Depende sa appreciation ng driver.
Opo, sir.
So, siguro kay Amiel, masyado daw madulas, masyadong so, nalalambutan naman siya. Pero para sa iba, mas convenient.
Opo, sir.
Okay. So, ito yung yung iba't ibang uri ng power. Yes, Daniel, Lilo, yung mungkahi mo, sabihin na. Si Lilo ay nawala na. Siguro naglolomi na. Meron dito talagang naka-join lang, hindi na si Lanto, si Magadja, si Lilo. Itong tatlong ito ay talagang laging ganitong style. Patawag ko na sa Dean's office talagang hindi nagpa-participate. Okay, so kanina pinakita natin yung tatlong uri ng ating piston mechanism. So we have ito. We have the integral, we have the external, letter B, and we have the rack and pinion. Okay? So first we have the integral. So the power system has the hydraulic piston mounted inside the steering box. So it is the most common type of power steering system. Consists of the power steering pump, hydraulic lines, and special integral power assisted gearbox. Ito. So ito yung pinaka-common na steering mechanism. So the integral piston power steering gearbox contain a conventional worm and sector gear arrangement, a hydraulic piston and control valve. The control valve may be either a spool or a rotary valve depending upon the manufacturer. So the operation of integral power system is as follows. Una, with the steering wheel held straight ahead on neutral position, the control valve balances hydraulic pressure on both sides of the power piston. Oil returns to the pump reservoir from the control valve. Okay. Ito. So meron tayong return hose, and then ito yung ating flow lines. So pag pumasok dito, di syempre may return hose dun sa fluid. Kaya nga, kung mapapansin natin, kapag may problema ang ating power steering or nababawasan yung ating fluid. Pag may mga leaks. So that is one indication na may problema. May leak. So another operations is for a right turn. Of course, syempre we are turning the vehicle. The control valve routes oil to the left side of the power piston, and the piston is pushed to the right in the cylinder to aid pitman shaft rotation. On the other hand, kabaligtaran naman, for a left turn, the control valve routes oil to the right side of the power piston, and the piston is pushed to the left in the cylinder to aid pitman shaft rotation. Lagi naman kabaligtaran. Pagka left turn, ang itutulak ng piston ay yung kanan para ma-push yung kaliwa na pitman arm shaft. Okay? In both left and right turns, piston movement forces oil on the non-pressurized side of the piston back through the control valve and to the pump. Next, we have the external cylinder linkage type. So the external single linkage type has the power cylinder mounted to the frame and the center link. In this type, the control valve may be located in the gearbox or in the steering linkage. Operation of the system is similar to one previously described. So, ano lang pinagkaiba ng internally? Ano? So, let us see. Ano? So, meron siyang pump or the fluid reservoir. Meron din siya, ano? Meron din siyang return hose. Okay? And then, we have the power steering gear. Ayun. And then, ito siguro kinaiba niya. Ano yun? Hydraulic control valve ay nasa baba. Dito naman, ay nasa itaas. Okay? Okay, anong napansin niyo na pinagkaibahan? Yung location ng pump and reservoir. Ano, magkaiba ang location. Tama po ba?
Yes, sir.
Magkaiba yung location. Ano? Okay, ito ay nasa itaas, ito ay nasa baba. Okay? Yung kaibahan naman ng patatlo, ay di nasa taas din ito. Ano? Para lang din siyang ordinaryong rack and pinion. Kinaibahan yung parang pinaka-pump niya nasa taas. Yun lang yung nadagdag, merong pump. Okay po. And then power rack and pinion. Kanina yung ating manual rack and pinion, lalagyan lang natin ng power steering mechanism. So merong additional. Kaya siya ay naging power rack and pinion steering. Uses hydraulic pump. So, meron application ng hydraulic pump to assist the operator in moving rack and front wheels. So, the basic power rack and pinion assembly consists of a power cylinder, power piston, hydraulic lines, and a control valve. So, meron tayong components. We have the power cylinder. The hydraulic cylinder form around the rack. The power cylinder is precisely machined to accept the power piston. Provisions are made for the hydraulic lines. The power cylinder bolts the vehicle frame, just like the rack of a manual unit. And then we also have the power piston, a double-acting hydraulic piston formed on the rack. So the power piston is formed by attaching hydraulic piston to the center of the rack. And then, syempre, meron tayong hydraulic lines. Yun yung steel tubing that connects the control valve and power cylinder. And also, we have the control valve. And other components of the power rack and pinion are similar to those found on manual rack and pinion steering system. Ang additional features lang ay may nadagdag tayong power steering pump. Okay pa? Nakuha?
Ano, sir? Ulit, sir. Ulit.
The components of power rack and pinion steering mechanism is same with the rack and pinion manual steering, the manual rack and pinion. Ang nadagdag lang, inadagdag tayong pump and reservoir. Okay? Minadagdag na pump and reservoir. Yun na ang kinaibahan. Okay? So, power and rack and pinion is fairly simple. When the steering is turned, the weight of the causes the front tire to resist turning. So, this resistance twists a torsion bar or thrust the pinion shaft slightly. So, this action moves the control valve and aligns the specific oil passages. So, pump pressure is then allowed to flow through the control valve and the hydraulic line into the power cylinder. Hydraulic pressure then acts on the power piston and the piston action assists and pushing the rack and front wheels for turning. Okay, so let's have a short review nga. Okay, the oil flow with the power steering system is directed by A. Hydraulic pump, B. Power cylinder, C. Control valve, D. Hydraulic gear housing. Ano sagot? Oil flow. Ano sagot? Sige. Sino yun? Sino na taas? Ano taas? Mike Kelvin.
Letter A.
Hydraulic pump. Okay. Tama ba yun? Oil flow. Bakit letter A?
Gawa sir ng oil flow. Eh, di kaya ng oil sir, pinapam. Para
Okay. Sino may sagot na iba? Yes, Enrico.
Letter D, sir.
Power cylinder? Are you sure?
D, sir. Hydraulic gear housing.
Sino may sagot na iba?
Sir,
Yes, Jude.
control valve, sir.
Bakit?
Wait lang, sir. Ano gawa palawanag yun?
Sir, A yan.
D.
Puro kayo nanguhula.
Sir, di nga.
Hindi ko nakinig. Okay, let's go back. Let us define again one by one. Okay. Okay, so when we say power cylinder, the power cylinder is the machine to accept the power piston. So the power cylinder works just like the pinion. Okay. The power piston attached to the hydraulic rubber. Hydraulic line, steel tubings that connects the control valve and the power valve. Control valve, a hydraulic valve which regulates hydraulic pressure entering end of the power piston. Okay? Other components. Okay? Other definitions. Taas. Yan ba? Okay, yun ang sagot. Letter?
Pump A.
Okay, the control valve, a rotary spool type, is actuated by steering wheel. Is
Tama nga, sir. Control valve.
Fluid under pressure. Letter C, di ba?
Tama si Jude, sir.
Si Jude ba sumagot
Sir.
ng C? Control valve.
Wala, hindi ako.
Marjud yan eh. Si Jude, sir.
Control valve, sir, ang akin na eh.
Okay, letter C ang sagot. Control valve. Ano? Basta
tama.
directed control. Ano? Most of the time control. Directed.
Sir, plus points yun.
Okay, sige.
Tama.
Jude. Over ka na naman.
Tiger.
Jude.
Tiger.
Over ka na naman, Jude, sa sa recitation eh.
Kaya nga, sir, dati pinapatigil na.
Kaya,
Tiger Pride.
Oo, gago.
huwag ka namang sagot na sagot, Jude. 40 points ka na eh. 40 points ka na ang i-by 0 pa.
Sila na sir.
Sige, let's have a break muna. We will resume at 10 o'clock. Okay lang ba? Okay, I will stop the recording.